Hello, welcome to this space. Let's see if today the sound works better. I would like to invite all of you to set intention. Today I want to talk about type of codes. This is some information that I have been channeling for the next live language course, and specifically I wanted to talk about the collective codes. Where are they and how we can work with them? But I have a new microphone and it was not working before. So if you guys will be so gently and kindly to let me know if the sound is correct. I think. And then we can begin. My voice tends to go smooth and low when I do channel, which is a sign that I am channeling. Sounds better? Great. I think we can go with the flow. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for people to know that I am alive. And my third eye, it's open. I thought I had something, but I think galactics will come to today. Let's go with the flow. If you guys would like to hear any specific light language, please type them in the comments or your intentions for healing, and then we will go with the flow. For the ones that are with me, like Gabrielle and Andrea in the light language course, tomorrow 9 a.m. Pacific, we're going to have our own live class where you guys can ask questions about the materials. You don't have to be alive, but if you have any questions about the models that we just review, try to be live or type your questions in the group, and then I can explain about them, and then you guys can watch them later. Whatever works for you, it will be great. So for this material, in the last course, we knew that we had different codecs. Yes, the codes, like for example reflection codes, grid word codes, things like that. But for this course I just had 4 type of codes: individual codes, specific codes, collective codes, and personal codes. Very quickly I would like to talk today about the collective codes. A code, guides, it is a frozen information. Not a frozen information, that will be a crystal. It is a expression of the consciousness of source, an expression of the light or the energy that is vibrating a certain frequency that it's telling a story. I feel a lot of language coming through, so I'm going to be doing I think light language and normal English. I'm going to try to explain this again. A code, a light code, whether you spoke that, you make it through sound, or you make it through a symbology, it is an energy pattern. The energy, it is from source, all that it is, and then the energy, it splits in order to have a unique expression. That expression will create a sound, like the right? And then that sound, it is the expression of the movement and the action that that energy pattern, that light, that energy signal have, because it splits from the source. I hope that makes sense. So that codification may be, hello, welcome all of you, maybe light code or maybe just a code. If it's just a code, maybe expressed from the shadow, like for example fear, anxiety, sadness, and it's not a bad code. It's just a code that let us know that we are aside from a path, or we are in a distortion, that we could move into the light. And then a light code are those codes that vibrate in love and higher consciousness, like our galactics or the angels, that elevates our experience and help us to find our channel of light where we can source whatever that is needed in the moment. I hope that was clear. I'm gonna let the light language come through. I hope that it is okay. Please type your questions, your intentions, and if I explain this correctly. It's part of the material that is coming through. So I'm gonna let the light languages come in. Ti ira ate ishkasa kote iki ishna. Ti made isete iki ishtara asakote ki ishkina. When the light wants to come through because it has a message and we're restricted, we darken that energy a little bit. So we always should allow the energy to flow. Sometimes when it flows, it may not be that harmonic, but it is because it's seeking balance. And then it will find its own way into the light. And these are beings from Sirius that I have today, so I'm going to welcome them. So if you guys have any questions, please type in the comments and you guys will have your answer, whether it comes through your intuition or through what I am saying. So a light language, it is an expression of source, the language of the soul. If it is a code, it is a code that is seeking a new balance, a new harmonization. If it's a light code, it is a higher frequency energy, whether you define that as galactic or angelic or source itself, that it is coming to integrate itself with the distortion so it can elevate the experience. A collective code, what it is. A collective code, it is a pre-agreement that we all have as fragmented souls at this time, at this moment with Gaia, that we all want together. We're gonna have certain situations, like for example, vaccines are an agreement. Vaccine, it will be a collective code. I may not say that that will be a light language code. It's just a code that represents something that may be bad for ones and may be good for others. For example, okay, I don't know what to talk about, but the guys are being up to the surface, so I'm gonna go for it. For me, the vaccine is not the answer for not getting sick. This is my own perception, because it's like a band-aid for a problem that it is. So my solution is to work with my diet, with supplements, with exercise, with inner peace. So I really restore or rectify the distortion from the root instead of trying to fix it just like a little bit. But for some people that I know in my neighborhood, they are so afraid to get sick that the vaccine, it is a calming solution so they can see their families. I have seen people that they don't allow grandparents to see their newborn kids because they don't want them to get sick. Or in the other hand, I was talking to a neighbor and she said, I was invited to a wedding, but I'm not going because my parents are old and I don't want to get sick. But I remember that I told her, but you already had COVID. It does mean you won't get it anymore because you kind of vaccinated. But she said, nevertheless, I'm not gonna risk my parents because I could get sick again. So there are people really, really afraid about the COVID thing. So COVID will be another collective agreement. And any perception we do choose as an individual, it has its own evolution for the growth for our soul. But at the same time, commingles with everyone else. So we all decide to have COVID, quarantine, vaccines, and many other agreements as a collective that they will represent the highest good for all of us at this time and in this process of the ascension of Gaia. I hope that makes sense. And without the judgment and the story about if whatever agenda it is behind each of those collective codes, we each each of us have our own unique agenda that blended into the agenda of divine order. I hope that makes sense. Many agendas collide, especially, I think I'm channeling. Many agendas collide at this time, specifically in June, because we're going to start an 18 months period of an accelerated growth for us as an individual. Okay, I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm gonna let it be because guys want to talk about it. If you guys have any questions, please type them in the comments. I had another idea that I wanted to talk, but guys figured out that we needed something else, so I'm gonna go for it. What guys are saying, that the cosmic events that are happening in June are going to trigger many of us at different levels of a process. So we initiate and embark into an 18-month accelerated period with many timelines and agendas, especially those collective agreements are going to fusion and collide as a, yes, seeking that unification of humanity into the great awakening that is going to be in 2023. This is just coming through. Many of us are going to be pushed to go into our own mastery because we're going to be the leaders, the way showers for many newly awakened people that are just waking up into spirituality, into being in charge of their own energy right now, and the ones that are going to massively wake up in 2023. Guys, what I'm seeing it is that we have no idea yet how many people are going to wake up into spirituality at many different levels. Probably people is going to be drawn to shamanic practices, galactic practices, mindfulness, whether that technique that individual is going to be chosen to awaken more into who they are is going to be the result of the different agendas that are going to be uncovered during this 18 months period. This is what the guys are saying. I'm gonna intuit the energy. So this is a calling to wake up to the realization that inner peace is going to be the solution for many of the problems that we may perceive right now as a trigger for our growth. Whether that it is the economy, whether that it is psychic gifts, relationships, dealing with emotions, ancestral wounds, or anything that may be the individual code that triggers our soul mission for our growth and our evolution is going to be specifically aligned as a piece of the puzzle for what that collective is working out as a unity consciousness. I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure that I even understand, but I'm going to say it as it is. Worry not is what guys said. They are talking that they're going to be challenged, many of us, the one that decide to step further into our soul growth as a way shore, as a light worker, working our light in a more professional way, in a more committed way, being the guiding light for ourselves and for many that are going to be needed. Those triggers that are going to be happening for many of us are going to be the mastery courses that we're going to be doing. So don't hesitate to be gentle with yourself, to be gentle. There are many different collective codes at the individual level that many of us are working. Like for example, me right now, I'm working with my body. I am in a detoxification process that I have, I think, 12, 13 days where I just eat liquid, and some days it feels like hell because I have never done it before in this life, and I am educating my body to release toxins and metals and things like that. But at the same time, I'm being very aware about the things that are part of my shadow aspects that I don't feel comfortable to be with. But at the same time, it's necessary, so I integrate in a more cohesive way where I am to realign from where I am going. I hope that makes sense. Many people are struggling right now with family monad, with relationships, with the own awakening, having questions about who am I, where do I belong, what is my mission, what is my purpose. Whether, I'm going to say it in a different way. It doesn't matter the process that you are right now. This is what guys are saying to me. It doesn't matter if you feel you need to be better. It doesn't matter what you think you feel in order for you to get where you would like to be. What matters it is how you embrace it, the now, because from the now we can align with the agenda that will work best for us and for all of us in the best way. Now I'm going to explain this a little bit more. Let's talk about vaccines. Vaccine, it is the way that I understand it, because I'm not a medical expert. Vaccine is a little bit of sickness or disease that it's supposed to be injected in your body so your body knows how to deal with it, right? That is the normal process. Whether you are talking about chickenpox or COVID or anything that may be happening around, it is like doing shadow work, going into your sadness, your depression, your anxiety, so you know how to deal with it. And then you restraining your own power, your own sovereignty as a human being, so you know what to do if sadness comes around again. So you don't be like Mary Magdalene crying all over the place, but you know how to deal with it. So we don't escalate problems. We don't make them bigger than they appear to be. It's kind of like a training thing. Whether if we are in a control program or not, that is going to depend on the collective agreement we sign up for this life. There are many different agreements regarding vaccines or control or Illuminati or Cabal or Dark Alien Agenda or whatever colliding, and we are choosing which one we believe is going to help us. So let's don't judge whatever people believe about may be happening or will happen in the future, because it may be real in their timeline. But it doesn't mean you and I have to go through the same thing, because maybe we decide to step into a timeline where alien dark agenda, it's not in the equation of your own growth. I hope that makes sense. But it doesn't matter what each person believes. This timeline, as far as I understand, at least in my timeline, we are not in a timeline that is the end of the world or extreme horrifying. Are going to be like little tiny challenges that may seem huge that will develop our growth. But this is the most benevolent timeline, or one of the most benevolent timeline that we can step in. Another thing that guys wanted to say today through me, it is that sometimes we need to upgrade our beliefs, and this is happening a lot. For example, let's say that I used to have a panic attack. It's not me, I'm just saying an example for someone I know. Panic attack about being in front of people. But maybe adding a course about to being a speaker, so I have not to believe I will have a panic attack, and then I have to believe I'm gonna be okay. This is how we can upgrade beliefs. Many of the beliefs that are around about spirituality or agendas or things that may happen are vibrating in a lower frequency. So it is a choice to decide which agenda is going to be the one that is going to serve us the most. And this is what we could use collective codes. Collective codes are agreements through Gaia and humanity at big scale that are working out something that is needed. That collective code may represent that a storm is going to happen in the Atlantic, or burning fires in California, or that the economy is going to shake a little bit. Things like that that we don't have a lot of power to control, but what we can control is the way that we approach them, the way that we react to them, and how we can be resourceful so we can find the solution from our own universe. Because I create my universe and each of you create your own universe. I hope that makes sense. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Lori asked, so is the collective undecided what is needed and what play my role? That is an excellent question, Lori, but not quite yet. You are your own collective, and you participate on what your collective decides that your role is gonna be, because you are the god of your own universe, and so am I, and so is each of us. You create your own reality, but in order to change that reality that we see mirror from outside, it has to come from here. Because each day, in each second, we choose to have continuity to the same collective history that it appears to happen from day to day, like past, present, and future. But in reality, the way that we understand that, we shift in every second. That those changes are so similar that we appear to be the same. But if you look about pictures of you from 5 years ago, you will be a totally different person. But when the change is so greater, sometimes it represents a struggle for us because we're not used to that new aspect of us. And this is when we struggle with the energy, with the body. Sometimes we have a divorce, or changing a profession, or changing a city, things like that that represent a struggle. But that struggle comes through chaos a little bit, or distraction, because it's putting us in a different state where we can soothe ourselves better and be in our own skin. But those agreements about things that may happen or may not happen in the collective are done at the higher self level and at the soul level. They are decided on what the higher self collective and God and heavens decide that is good for all of us as group in Gaia. That's why it's so important that we ground, because when we ground, we provide feedback to Gaia from our own galactic history, from whatever we are learning. If I learn Reiki, I can share to everyone else, so everyone else knows how to use life force, for example, or how to charge water. So all the good things that you are feeling, like for example, let's say that you meditate and you had a dream with, I watched 2 days ago, someone said they had a dream with Mary Magdalene, and it was so beautiful what she describes, and then she had like so many lines, people were so excited. Whenever you have something amazing that happened to you, ask that, I wish everyone else can feel that. That is the best way we can restore that collective, those collective codes, because we send positive feedback through the ley lines of Gaia, and then Gaia decides to choose different collective agreements for all of us. I hope that makes sense. We not only restore distortion from going into the shadow, we also restore distortion from going into the positive side of the energy. I hope that makes sense. Sounds better? Awesome, Nico, thank you. Let me see if I have any other questions. I think I would like to do a little bit of light language. That is an excellent question, Michelle. This is why I can figure out my role in the collective. I can ask what it is your role, but sometimes roles will change according to the timeline that you are stepping in. But I'm going to explain this in a very simple way so all of us can receive guidance about what your role it is. We have two roles. We have many, but mainly we have two. We have purpose and we have mission as a soul. Mission comes from the shadow aspect and it is hidden in the shadow. It is what you feel it is your greatest weakness, that in reality it is your greatest gift. Like for example, for me, being right here, I would never dream to do that. To be on YouTube and Facebook, putting myself out there, being transparent to all of you, I would never decided that because my gifts were my weirdness. I felt like I was gonna be judged, criticized because I was judging myself. So I was shooting down my gifts. I didn't want anyone to tell. I didn't even want myself to know what I could do because I was scared of myself. And when I found out a way to be honest with myself and be transparent with myself and say, whatever, I'm just gonna stand out for me and see what is for me, that shadow aspect became the greater aspect of myself and what it is leading me into the highest expansion in my soul evolution as a Gretel. I hope that makes sense. Purpose, it comes as a light worker. It is what you do that no one else does, that is your great gift. Some people is great to be a listener, so everyone wants to have advices from them. Some people are great to be a healers. Other people are very good friends. They're always giving. Other people are good because they investigate a lot about vaccines and things and what you could do and what the conspiracy theorists are, and they are fighters about things that they should be transformed. And then others become the warriors of the light. Others are good to channel. Others are good with crystals. We all have our own unique magic, and that comes through your purpose. Your purpose, it is the thing that comes easy to you, that you can do just because it's part of your soul growth, part of your soul wisdom. Like for example, I draw just because it's easy for me, because I like it. I put my heart on it. I'm so happy whenever someone asks for a code. I'm just like, oh my god, damn it, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna draw it, I'm gonna put colors on it, and I'm gonna use an app, and then I'm gonna show it to all of you. And whether you guys like it or not, that represents happiness for my heart, and that it's enough. And that is greater than the insecurity that I may feel by putting myself out there, because people may critique me or not. And then critiques or judgment, it doesn't matter anymore, because the goodness about being here is so greater, because I like it so much. I like this new version of me that I never thought I would be, that is all that matters. And then I allow myself to be guided, and so those mission and purpose go hand in hand, and it's all about finding balance. Some people that I know, because thank God I feel blessed and I know a lot of people. Some people are going to be amazing, so gifted, and they're going to be guided to have normal roles. Being a politician, being a police officer, being a military, being a teacher, being a doctor, being in chemistry, doing investigation, because it is what they are needed. And just because you don't do healing sessions like the way I do, it doesn't mean you are not a light worker, because you are a guiding light for many, probably for your family, from your kids, from your husband, from your neighbors or whatever, just by being at peace. Because if someone says, oh my god, I like to hang out with Gretel because she's so peaceful, what is she doing? Oh, she meditates. I may meditate too. Probably that is enough for spirit. I hope that makes sense. So purpose is what I do, that I can do for free, that it makes me so happy, that I just want to do it for everyone. And it could be aligned with light worker, it could be not. Like for example, John Lennon, he was a singer, and it doesn't mean he was not channeling source through his songs. Of course he was, because all of us, whenever we listen to his music, it's just like, oh my god, so beautiful. And it may be someone who does movies or create new medicine or something that it is needed. Each of us are like a piece of the puzzle in this collective journey that we all are as one. I hope that makes sense. Like, for example, yes, every role, every profession, it's important. And it doesn't matter. The importance it is that we embrace it, that we put on heart, honor, and essence, and that we can all grow together, because no one is going to be in 5D alone. We all have to hold each other's hands, supporting in our own way. Normally, we start with the people who we resonate with, because it's easy to do it that way. So if you can support people instead of competing with people or comparing ourselves, that sometimes is enough. Some people always put shares and likes into all of them, and it's the role, and that's fine because they support more people. Some people are like our angels, they give donations. Some people does grid work. Grid work, it's one of the light worker types that it's not that known that you have to tell people what you are doing. It's more like a secret communion between Earth and you, and not because people doesn't know what you do, it does not mean it's not important. It is important. We're all important and we all matters. I hope that makes sense. Let me see if I have any other question. So we can decide what our role is going to be. And this is another thing that I add in this course. In one of the videos, what is going to be, if you want to do this professionally, because a lot of people would like to do this professionally, then choose your name. What your name is going to be, what your services is going to be. If you're going to be a healer, if you're going to do codes, if you're going to channel, if you're going to do cards, whatever you feel guided to do, and then master yourself, prepare yourself, learn about it. Not because you need to improve yourself, but more like you will be more confident on it. Like someone told me, you should not charge to teach codes because we can all do codes. Of course we can all do codes. I'm just sharing my experience with all of you, but of course everyone can do codes. I'm not more special than each of you. It's just sometimes we need the experience of others. We cannot figure out how our experience is going to be. But the more we practice, the more we're confident, and the more we feel honored and guided to do that. Let me see. I think I'm ready to do the light language. If you guys don't have any questions, let me check. And I'm going to drink a little bit. Thank you for being here and thank you for the support. I do post meditation in Facebook available for everyone with Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is coming a lot, and Mother Mary and Isis and Hathor. And for the ones that are in the membership, next month I'm going to put you guys a little course about the Divine Feminine, the Goddess. It's coming like a lot. I'm already recording what is going to come for members. The ones that don't know, in YouTube channel you guys can be part of a library of exclusive videos starting for $2.99, $14.99 and $29.99. I think I'm going to do that course for medium and higher level, but I'm going to upload that in July, I think. For the ones that are in the light language course, I would like to remind you, and whoever you would like me to do light language, I will do that. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, we're going to have a live class for whatever I haven't explained correctly or whatever you guys would like to say. And then next Saturday till 9 a.m. Pacific, I'm going to send you guys an email today after I finish. Michelle asked, and I think it's an excellent question, so I'm going to share it. How do I figure out what I should do for my growth? That's an excellent question. Let me take a couple seconds to download whatever I need to reply to you according to your guides. I think first of all, Michelle, it's very important for us in this spiritual growth to learn how to access our own information. Whether you decide to use cards or channel aromatic writing or through codes or through meditation, select whatever technique that simplifies the answers that will come from spirit. I think it's important. Once in a while, we're gonna need someone else to guide us because I don't know. Sometimes some people can be more objective about our growth, but it is important that we strengthen our own sovereignty as a persons by selecting whatever way we can master that we're going to receive guidance, so we can train our guides and have the agreement that they're going to come through. For me, when I started doing light language, I was doing exercise. I was very committed, and whenever I was running, light language was coming through, and then I started having my own guidance. Another agreement that I have for my guides, thank you so much for the stars, I appreciate that. It comes to dreams, because we all have that self-doubt that we say, I don't think so. And because we second guess, my guidance comes to dreams, and sometimes I don't understand it, and it's fine because I keep growing. But I don't get fixated on what I don't understand anymore. I am learning to surrender and to go with the flow. And I said, whatever, if I meant to know, it will come in another way. So I think the next step for you, Michelle, it is to be aware and to discover or to decide what is going to be the technique from where you can source your own guidance. I think probably twice a year, it's good to have a session with someone else, whoever we trust, so we receive healing and whatever things we have not been able to see or to figure it out. So whoever you trust, it's good to have a guidance once in a while with someone so we can receive healing. And at the same time, even though we can heal ourselves, it's so nice that someone else can do a healing than you. At least I love it. So you guys can exchange a session with anyone, you can practice, or you can pay someone, whatever works for you. But I think for you, it is the way you can source your information. Remember, we're gonna have many different missions in one life, and those missions change. For example, for me, since a month ago, my essence changed, and now my essence, it is from Sirius B. And I knew before that I was from Pleiades. My first essence, it was from Pleiades, and all my life I felt I was from Pleiades. But now my guy said, no, now you are going to align with Sirius because you are doing codes and for whatever collective needs and you are going to need, so I change. I hope that makes sense, Michelle. Sometimes, Michelle, the whole action plan, and it's not given to us because we're not there yet. It's like if I have a 5-year-old son and I buy a car and I give him the kids. It will make no sense because it's not there yet. Doesn't even have license, the age, the cognitive development to have a car, but he will have the car whenever he has 16 or 17 or 18 or whatever it's meant to happen. I hope that makes sense. Lori, next is time for me. Well, you are welcome to join, Lori, anytime you want to. Light language for me, it's important because for me, I am very mind driving, I think is how I would say. I think a lot, I try to analyze a lot as a Virgo, and when I do light language, I allow my mind to go still, and then I can let my heart to lead. And this is the way how I develop many gifts. Yeah, I practice telepathy, channeling, healing, surrendering, many things all in one technique. But whatever technique you guys feel guided, go for it. It doesn't matter. We will be changing. We'll be changing our own ways, and it's fine because we are growing. I think what guys wanted to say, because I don't like to talk a lot about what I see in the future because I don't want to open your gifts, and I think each of you will have your own guidance whenever it's pertinent for you to know. But I think what they wanted me to say it is that this solstice that I will have channeling with Mary Magdalene, many of us are going to change timelines. The ones that are deciding to step out as a way shore are going to start an 18 months program where you may be challenged to grow more. And I am going to be one of them because in 2023 is going to be a huge growth that we haven't seen before. This is what guys wanted to say and remind. And I think if there is any other question, I'm going to try to, Michelle, you can receive your guidance through meditation or any technique, but try to make your choice about in which way you would like to grow. And then you're going to receive your action plan, I think. I think I'm going to start with Sirius because they are the ones I'm channeling, and that was like a yes. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Remember the ones that are with me in the Light Language course, in our own group, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we're going to have a live call where you guys can do questions for light language, whatever you guys would like to. The second wave is going to start in the solstice. If you guys feel like you are not there yet, you can take your time, but I wanted to open it in the solstice because it's going to be cosmically a great opportunity to align with whatever timeline you decide that you would like to be. That's why. And then another change is going to be August 8, and then the 11/11, and then December 21 is going to be a huge change for many of us. Next year is going to be a lot of change on relationships. Relationship with your body, romantically, lots of twin flames, contracts are going to be rewritten, and many things at a collective, many uncovered agendas related sexuality, things like that are going to be uncovered and going to be resolved. And then 2023 is going to be a year for like an explosion in spirituality. Cosmically is going to be a line for people to wake up to a spirit and to the light, and I think that's why we're going to be prepared into that journey. Guys wanted me to repeat it after and after. Okay, I said it. Let's do the light language. Please set your intention, whether you do it in a comment or in your own mind. And allow your higher self to be in charge. Invite your own team of guides for the support. My voice tends to go low. You don't have actually to understand what I said. The energy is going to travel to you one way or another if you agree to receive. I do have beings. They look like avatars. They look blue. They don't look like female or male. They look very alien-like, and they are experts on psychogeometry. And I'm going to allow them to speak to me a few minutes while we each of us receive whatever that is needed for today. Greetings, beloved. We are happy to be here, and we are Sirius B, Doctors of the Light. We are teachers and experts about sacred geometry, codec, like language. This is our expertise. We work with the galactic nations, different councils, and different agreements that are done at the frequency level of the universe. We wanted to be with each of you today because we are working with Gretel, and we wanted to do a transmission of healing. Please take a deep breath into the blue light. Tete arakete ashkara sura teki ishkane seya ki iti ishke ana azahake ite shakusete iki ishna. Let the blue light permeate every aspect of you, starting from your physical vessel, every organ, every tissue, every cell, receiving an injection of pranic light force directly from source. Titi ira te ira ashka se kia teki ishkane imane te kia rasa kuide ishki ete asaha kuite isha. And as you breathe into the blue light has the characteristic that purifies, cleans, balance as you open up yourself into the light. Ira ate esa ke ishka, rane bara ate ki esa ki ishka, shampenate jarba ate isai ki ishka. Now open yourself, see yourself bathe into the blue light, the light for the blue ray, the expression of being brave, being courageous. Ti ishtara ase ke ishka, ki ta asaha ki iki iti iki ishka, ti asaha iki inni ti ishka. Jumbai sasha ki ita saha ki ishka ti isa kui ti iki ishka. Always the blue light is going to come to identify hooks, blocks. Energy is stagnant, so that energy can flow with all that it is and find a new alignment into the light. Always when the energy moves, when the energy creates a motion, that motion will become a sound, and that sound will initiate a pattern. That pattern, when it is done and balanced, will become a sacred geometry. It may look like an infinite symbol, like a pyramid. It may look like an octahedron. It may appear to you as a Merkaba of light. Each of you will be shown through your third eye an image about the sacred geometry that you already own. Ti ira ati ishka sa eki iti iki asha. Si anate iki ishka te isaki ikiana. If you are not able to see because your mind believes, I can see. Sirius means my third eye is closed. I don't know how. Then breathe up the light. Hold it as much as you can. Exhale until your lungs become flat. And breathe again. And ask your mind to support you as you participate and create, pretend, or imagine you can see your own sacred geometry. Ti ara ati ishka te isate iki ishtare isate iki ishka. Shampa te isaki ni iti iki ishka. Now, this is how you can work with collective codes. Your own sacred geometry will engage in fusion with everyone else's sacred geometry, creating a pattern. Those patterns will create different meanings, different expressions, from darkness through neutrality into the light. Each of you vibrate at different levels, from 1D, that it is the reality of the self, the 2D, that it is the duality, the 3D, that it is the reality that many of you vibrates, the 4D, that it is the opening for the higher light to come and be integrated, and the awareness of all the different dimensions. 5D, that will be constant emanation of love. And therefore, the higher realities, the only difference between those rings of frequency, it is the integration and the capacity for the soul to acknowledge their position in the matrix. The matrix, it is a huge web of sacred geometry. Each of you, like Russian dolls, will have many different vortices that engages in different speeds, volumes, according to your missions, your purposes, and your own agreements. Each of you have many agreements at different dimensions. It's not pertinent for you to know exactly the different agreements that each of you have. But what you can do, it is you can ask through meditation, can I be shown the own map of my soul, my own sacred geometry? And if you notice that an aspect of your own Merkaba of light feels weak, has a hole, a dark or gray area, you can ask the light to rectify that aspect of the self that may be vibrating at a lower expression of the soul in order to create balance at a higher scale. This is a way that you are going to be reveal what you are working out from your own experience through the collective perception. Whatever triggers you see in the collective, you are creating your own mirrors within. If at the collective level, each of you receive a news in the Middle East about war or division, you may manifest division in your own family or within yourself. So that collective codes help each of you to reveal a reflection from an aspect of the soul that it is being worked out already. It's not that you have to fix it, it's already in the process to be rectified. What we suggest each of you should do, it is working in the inclusion of all the energies by creating a strong capacity to be at peace, to be in your own center. When you become the masters of your own empire, when you are able to notice the darkness and the light within, and to receive guidance about what needs to be done. Every pattern that is where the collective levels comes with a mission at a greater scale. In many times those reasons are unseen or cannot be understood at the individual level. Therefore, we ask each of you to trust that all is well, and that all that it is seen, it is chosen by the soul and by the collective into the agreement that is going to be 90% of the benefit of all of you in the best way and in the highest way. Of course, things will change and will evolve, but they always reorganize, always in the divine plan. In the divine plan that represents the highest good and in the best way of all. So therefore, your job it is to trust, to know that everything supports you. And this matrix, it is created for the evolution of each of you as an individual, working through duality, ascending into each of those dimensions that are going to come to bring conclusion, while you go back to source. So the challenge for many of you, it is to trust what you don't know, because you always know. You may know that you don't know, but you know something. So choose what you know. Choose what you believe. Because there is no such a thing of lack. Because you always have something. You may have nothing, the feeling that you have nothing, or the feeling that you are empty, but you have something. So choose your perceptions and shift them. Now there's a greater opportunity for each of you to channel the higher realms and receive the guidance. Take advantage of these planetary changes for you to channel what is suggested for you to do. The next step, what the evolution of your soul is going to be, what the greater change is going to represent for you, and to strengthen your faith, your peace, and your knowing that all is well. And now we will ask each of you to go within and recognize the feeling, the knowing, the seeing of your own geometry, the map of your soul, your own codex. That codex may come through any color, to any form. So now trust that what you see, it is what you are meant to receive for today. Ti ashkare aseki iki ti akase ti iki ishka. Tinanera aseku tiki ishki. And now we're going to come into support so you see more clearly, you know, you sense that all is well, that you have the support that you need to walk this journey, that you know it all, what you need to know. You have all the tools on your hands for what it is needed. That all the codes and all the agreements, whether you like them or dislike them, are working out for you because shadow and light work hand in hand. So you can grow and advance as a soul, going back into journey through source. Because this ascension is just a little step in the evolution of the greater growth of your soul. And each of us, whether we express ourselves as elementals, minerals, galactics, or humans, we are at peace in the puzzle of what the universe is. And that universe at the same time forms a piece of the multi-universe, and therefore source and all that it is. So embrace the light and that shadow within into your own sacred geometry. You may feel the need to be very brave to acknowledge what it is within so you can understand what is happening without. Ti ishkare esiki ishtareki asekata kashgora asiki eneki ikiateki ishkati isakiaya. Please breathe and integrate the energy in the highest way and in the best way of all of you. We thank you, we love you, we bless you. We are so grateful and so happy that you have us in your hearts today. Tishkara shampanate ishkaseti iki ishkiyanate ikiya. Thank you. That was good. Just what I needed. I hope each of you receive what you needed today. These are the new guides. Thank you. I am channeling the ones that are teaching me. I thought I already knew everything about codes, but it seems I had no idea. And now a new level, new things are coming, which I'm excited because this is what Encoded frequency is, a place for all of us to grow. Whoever is in front of the camera, it doesn't matter, we are all one collective. So once again, I thank you for the support, for the ones that are with me in the live language course. Remember, tomorrow we do have a live class for probably like an hour. If you cannot be alive, it's gonna be 9 a.m. Pacific. It's okay, you can watch that later, but please post your questions or send them to me so I know what I need to speak. So far I have like 3 questions or 4 that I know you guys may resonate it. And then next Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we're gonna have the second call. And then the 20, we're gonna start, whoever is ready to level up your codes, the second level of the light language course, where we're going to speak about different themes, not only codes, more like collective, individual codes, how to do sessions, how to incorporate the technology of the body, the Merkaba of the body, things like that, that are coming true. And at the same time, yesterday I recorded a video about how to deal with trolls and social media, things like that. I'm trying to add all the material that I have learned that may be useful for each of you to create your own business. I don't want to, I would like each of you to be successful in whatever you guys decide to do. And then for 2 months, we're going to integrate all that, 2 or 3 months. And yes, and then the next course is going to be about psychic gifts. You don't have to have all the courses in a row because each course is going to be different, but they will complement each other. The third level is going to be about telepathy, bilocation, astral travel, jumping timelines, things like that. The gifts that we already know, like third eye opening, clairsentience, channeling, things like that, and then new gifts that are being activated in many of us, and many more will come that we can practice. And then the fourth one is going to be in December, is going to be what a way short is and what will require for all of us to be a way short, to be a leader in whatever area we decide to do, whether that is codes, Reiki, crystals, cars, or anything. This is what I have planned for all this year. I don't know what next year it will bring to me, but I'm excited because I keep learning with all of you. And for the ones that are in the membership, next month we do have Mary Magdalene meditations, which I am excited. Thank you all for your stars. I appreciate so much the support for all of you. Thank you for being here. There are going to be changes on Facebook. I don't understand exactly what the changes are going to be, but it appears that likes are going to disappear from pages and only who follows are going to keep seeing the content. I'm not sure exactly, but I know they're going to. The idea it is that there are lots of fake accounts on. Thank you. There are lots of fake accounts on Facebook, so they are restricting Facebook because they would like to identify bots and fake accounts and things like that, which in the overall it is great, but this may impact a little bit patients, things like that. So, and your own feed probably, so don't get upset if something you got into a jail Facebook thing or whatever. Try to go into the rules and see what's going to change and what's not. So you always have your feed in whatever way or form you would like to. That's my advice. And have a beautiful day. Smile. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.